Queen of Uncool, and you're listening to the Dan Chan Show on Hard Rock Hell Radio.
Hey Dee, how are you?
Yeah, I'm all right, man. How are you doing?
Yeah, very well. Thank you for asking. How's the pandemic treated you in southwest London? What have you been doing in the last year or so?
I guess I've been lockdown busy. I've been, writing and releasing stuff. Mm-hmm. So it took a long time and became tricky because the studios were shut and stuff. But I put out my Love and War EP and a couple of singles in the last 18 months. That's what that became about.
So you brought Love and War out back in May. So was that recorded through the pandemic, written and recorded through the pandemic? And how did you record it? Was it like a home job or friends involved?
So we started recording it shortly before the pandemic hit. Yeah. And that was a studio by a guy I know called Andy Brooke in his studio, which was local to me. So we did some of the recording there and some of the mixing there as well. And then I did a lot of extra recording at home. Yeah. Just because I wasn't quite, happy with what I had. So I was adding extra bits at home and changing things up. Yeah. And then went to work.
Do you find sometimes when you do things at home, you have that extra time, you just end up tweaking and tweaking and tweaking, and at one point you just got to say stop? I know musician friends who just keep tweaking all the time and never complete.
I have maybe a wardrobe full of music that is in that state. Yeah, it's a hard thing to let it go and say it's done. Yeah, but I was very, very determined.
Art's never completed. That's what they say, right?
No, it's not. Yeah, it's not. I quite like this comedian Stuart Lee says something about this, about doing like a DVD of his stand-up or something being like a snapshot in time. Yeah. And that kind of takes the pressure off a bit if you think of it in that way. Like, this is where I'm at right now, and a few months, a few years, I would have done it differently. I would have changed this, or if I'd have had more time, I would have done this. But just do what you're doing now, just to show, it's like, it takes the pressure off.
I always say that's like a tattoo, people might regret a tattoo, but at the time it was right for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So, my show covers the extreme right through to Southern Gothic and lighter touches. We don't like boxes and genres, but having said that, where do you put yourself? Do you like, I think I read it somewhere, this explosive post-grunge rush, would you call it? Do you like that?
I mean, that's a good summary of what I'm doing right now. It may or may not be a good summary of what I do next. I've very much got my roots in rock, and so that's where my heart's at. That's where I consider myself sort of born into music.
I'm gathering it's like Seattle Soundgarden sort of stuff, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's what I grew up on, and still listening to, still loving the same tunes for years and years now. It's an endless source of inspiration, and it's not something I'm getting away from. No matter what other kind of music I end up making, that's where I'm coming from with it,
Mm-hmm. Of course. And what do you like to write about? Tell me more about this Angst. I feel there's a lot of angst there. I'm right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well done. It's pretty obvious, I guess. I have things to be angry about. There's loads to be angry about. I mean, if you want to be angry, there's always a million reasons to be angry. But I guess for me, I get angry about things in life, and then I have to channel it. If I wasn't channeling it through music, I'd be a professional fighter, or I'd be in prison, or I have to have this
outlet.
Way of of letting it out. Otherwise, I'd be in a lot of trouble.
So, strong views on the state of all the world right now, I suppose. Everything that's going on, I can see that's coming through you.
Always, yeah. I'm pretty outspoken, I guess, and opinionated.
Does that change with say different political views and stuff like that, or is that always been inside you?
That's very much who I am, and I think the more you educate yourself, you can go one way or another,
of course.
Lean towards certain views, or go, oh, I agree with these people, but honestly, it doesn't seem to ever sit right, no matter who no matter what movement or cause or thing comes along that I consider myself maybe a part of, there's always some difference. There's always some moment of, oh no, because I think differently about this than those people do. And so I never really fit in any community or political ideal and any system. I don't fit in systems. I don't fit into...
You're not an anarchist, right? Are you an anarchist?
No, not really, no.
No. All right. Okay. Just not
but no, I don't fit. I don't fit anywhere. That's how Queen of Uncool came about, because it's just this thing of sort of acknowledging and accepting that it didn't matter what I tried to do or where I went or who I hung out with or anything. None of that matters. It's just I'm always going to be other. I'm always going to be, here's a tick box exercise. The box I need isn't there. Right. So I'm just going to have to invent my own.
Well, that's cool. Well, as I say, your Instagram says you're a music maker with the energy of an angry vegan at a dinner party. Surely that depends on the dinner served at the dinner party, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
If it was a vegan dinner party, you're not going to be angry, right? I'm sure.
Well, yeah, sure. No, I think you're still going to be angry, though. I think vegans still get together and then even at their own dinner parties, they're going to bitch about the state of things that aren't vegan. So
I see.
Yeah.
and that's your position.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I mean, not that I'm angry all the time, but yeah, there's definitely. I've always got something to say. It's hard to shut me up, really.
Say, is there a lighter side to you?
Absolutely. Yeah. Have you seen my Madonna covers?
Yeah, I did. I think I did see that on your Insta. I think I did see that, actually, yeah. There you go.
Yeah, I think this is how a lot of comedians are born, grumpy, miserable, who, go through life just being utterly distressed at everything they see and then writing some comedy about it. Or not even writing comedy. Some of them just write something.
Yeah. And
then it sounds like comedy. Everybody else laughs and it's like, actually, no.
God, yeah, I can relate to that.
They're just saying, right, exactly. They're just saying some real truths and everyone's laughing like it's hysterical and it's not. Yeah. But so I think you have to laugh or you go mad,
Absolutely. Yeah, of course.
You've got to have balance, definitely.
Course. And how do you like to write? Do you like to write on your own or with a team in the middle of the night when the mood's right? How does it work for you?
Yes, all of the above. Yeah. I haven't really written with a team, but that's not something I'm shut off to. Like, I really enjoy it. If someone comes with an idea, I'm happy to add to that and it becomes like that game where you're stacking. What's the game where you stack your fists on top of each other like a potato thing?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
It's like you just...
One potato, two potato, yeah, of course.
Right, yeah, thank you. You're throwing things into the mix and, and bouncing off each other, and that's great. But I don't get to do that a lot because I am other, I am outsider, so I am alone a lot. So I end up writing alone a lot. That's mostly what I do.
Yeah. You talk about collaborations, what would be the ultimate collaboration for you? Who would it be to write or perform with? You bet you've got a ton of people.
Yeah, that's hard. Right now, where I'm at right now, I saw Soundgarden. I saw members of Soundgarden performing with what's her face, Taylor Momsen.
Yeah.
Doing a track with them, and I felt. Don't print this. I felt a bit gutted. I was like, oh, but it could be me. Oh, I could do that. Oh, there's a space there, and I would happily walk into that space. Yeah, that would be. Right now, that would be a lifetime achievement.
I'm sure. I saw Soundgarden with Faith No More and Guns N' Roses at Wembley Stadium in '92.
Nice.
Shows my age.
That's an awesome gig. Yeah, I think my sister's at that gig.
Use Your Illusion
That's
tour.
That's an awesome gig. Yeah.
And then Soundgarden just brought out Bad Motorfinger, and it was like Outshined and Rusty Cage and all that. It was going nuts. You know what I mean?
But what an era. Slaves and Bulldozers. I mean, who's making songs like that right now? I don't know. No? Honestly, I don't know. If you know people making songs like that right now, send them my way. I want to hear. I want to hear what is new. I'm sad and pining for dead rock stars, and I really need to find something.
Sticking with the bands thing, the band you've said, and quote, the bands I grew up listening to have saved my life many times, and I feel it's my duty to do the same for others. I may be a loner, but I know I'm not alone. That's a hell of a statement. Can you elaborate on that for me? I think you have done already, but a bit more.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, well, yeah, I mean that is my statement. I stand by it.
Yeah.
It like, you know, I could just lock my songs away in a drawer. I could be happy, you know, sitting at home writing, playing for myself. Like there's no need for me to share it. I'm not an extrovert performer in that sense.
Yeah.
But having lived through some, you know, turbulent times in my life and not really had anyone in my life I could relate to or sound that out with or find support or comfort, music was really the only thing I could turn to over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. And those bands and those singers, you know, those sounds rescued me over and over again, because music doesn't discriminate in a way. I mean, you can take it with you wherever you go. It's like, it doesn't matter if you're poor or rich, you know, as long as you've got a pair of headphones or even your own, you know, vocal cords and something to bang a beat on. Music doesn't discriminate. You can have it. You can have it no matter where you are in your life, you know. And, you know, even if you're deaf, you know, like a lot of deaf people enjoy the vibrations of music. It's a really universal, you know, language, and it's magical for that reason. Yeah. And without a doubt, it's my religion. And those me too. People I grew up listening to, they're my prophets, you know, my saviors, my teachers. And, you know, when I get up on stage, you know, I can spend my time listening and being like part of the congregation, or I can get up and say my piece and do my thing and hope that if there's someone out there who is feeling alone in that moment, or who's feeling a similar thing to what I'm talking about or expressing, or just appreciates the sounds, that they can get something from it. That's really, I mean, what is the point? I'm not doing it to be looked at. I'm not doing it to, you know, it's got no interest for me. I just, I have to carry on what I've been given. I've been given something from other people, and I want to make sure that if I've got anything to give that helps anybody, that it is out there and it's accessible to them.
I love that. And I was going to say, you know, what do you want from your music career? You know, some people want it all. Some people just want to touch the people who get them. What do you want? I think it's more the latter, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Because yeah, I mean, and I know that loads of bands have started like this. I mean, I even watched that, you know, the Bohemian Rhapsody film. There's quite a funny moment of like Queen sitting there going, you know, we're a group of misfits playing to the other misfits at the back of the room, you know, who aren't sure that they belong, but we belong to them and they belong to us. And I thought, that's coming from Queen, you know, like they became huge, and you think, how were they ever the misfits? How were they ever the outsiders? It doesn't make any sense, you know, but there are definitely weird people out there in this universe, and people struggling. And I tell you what, they're the people I meet. They're the people I connect with. So they're probably who my music's for, because that's what people say about me. You know, I'm an outsider. I'm other. I'm a weirdo. Whatever. Fine. I take it. I run with it. This is what I do. I know there are others like me. So you know,
great. That's great. So, I mean, talk about your band. I mean, do you have a band behind you, or are you totally alone in that aspect? You know, have you got permanent members, or do they come and go?
Well, unfortunately, the last couple of years, when we got the EP together, I had a band and we were gigging. Pandemic came and went, and that kind of, you know, fell apart in the time in between. I signed up 2 more players, and we got together and we were playing and actually sounding fantastic over the last lockdown, just really, really pushing it, sounding great. And I was really excited to get gigging, but then as soon as the gigs came in, it's, you know, they've gone where the money is. It's I think it's really hard to get paid as an original artist. And people, especially in London, people really just want to get paid. It's very, very difficult to find people who are dedicated to a cause in the same way like that. Like starting a band, it's a really romantic idea. You know, lots of people play for all kinds of different reasons. You know, they want to get laid, they want to get money, they want an excuse to get messed up at the weekends or whatever. And I really, you know, I'm really about the cause, and that, you know, I'm the cliched tortured artist. It's such bullshit, but, you know, I'm an artist. I am an artist. If I wasn't making music, I'd be making some other kind of art. It's just how I live, and I need people on board who are dedicated to that, who are committed to that, and it's quite difficult to find, unfortunately. It's kind of like how casual sex has exploded. Nobody wants to commit anymore. Everybody's just like on a dating app going, how many people are interested in me? Like, it's everything's a popularity contest now. So trying to find members for a band who is outwardly unpopular is quite tricky.
So, I mean, would you, if you did get a permanent band in place, would they be in pictures, or is it just you? How would you play that?
100% would be together. This, we're a tribe. Even the last people I played, the people I've played with, it's not, as even if we haven't spent that long together, we were together when we were together. Yeah. I don't think I limit in a kind of. I live in a kind of place that's free of a lot of boundaries, and so the connections I make with people are very close. And so if you're in a band, if you're rehearsing in a room with me, we're going to experience life stories. We're going to hear about each other's trauma.
Yeah. I've been in bands. I know the feeling. Done it.
Right. Yeah, it's real. I'm not. There's nothing. Yeah, I can't hold that stuff back. I mean, this is my creative space, so that's what it's for. This is my therapy. Let's put it all out there.
Yeah, of course. Now, what's a Queen of Uncool show like? I think you touched on it again. We're answering a lot of questions that I'm coming to, but what's it like? I mean, how do you take the stage?
It can be different depending what
What mood you're in?
All kinds of things. I'm having kind of a flashback to a gig I did. Not last year, obviously the year before now. Damn, but I did this gig in drag, and had I had this some like raisin bread.
Like
they were selling it cheap. They were selling it cheap in the shop next door, and so I bought some, and then I ended up wrapping up the remains and like forging like a phallic thing in this plastic bag.
It's got to be saurine, right? The malted loaf.
It wasn't saurine. No. That's malt loaf. That's different. Yeah, okay, raisin bread. Just standard raisin bread. Okay.
Okay. I've got to get the picture in my head. I've got to picture it.
Yeah. No, I put that in my trousers, and I threw that in the crowd halfway through the gig. Because I was having a little protest that day. But honestly, I guess anything could happen. I don't know. I don't plan it. I see a lot of people who've been to music school and stuff, and they go through the years, they have a very, a standard approach to everything. They get up, they introduce themselves, they tell you about the song. It's very, I don't know what the word is.
Staid.
It's very...
where you're sporadic.
Yeah, exactly.
You're sporadic.
Manicured.
Yeah.
I'm not. There's going to be awkward moments. There's going to be things I say that I wish I hadn't said. There's going to be, but I mean, ultimately, I just want to share it with people.
Yeah,
I just want to share it with people. So if you're open to it, then we're going to share something together.
Awesome. Can't wait to see you live. What are you looking forward to playing live again?
Yeah, I've been itching. I was so ready with the guys I was playing with over lockdown, and it was sounding so good. But I just didn't have paid gigs to offer them, and as sad as that is, people need to pay rent and stuff, so it's hard. Yeah.
What's it like? Obviously, I mean, I've done loads of shows in London myself, and I know what the scene's like. But being from London, do you feel like you could play like every night of the week with so many venues? And do you do acoustic? Do you ever play on your own?
I did. I released a couple of acoustic EPs way back when, because I was solo for a long time, didn't have a band, and so I was like, okay, I'll just do the acoustic thing for now, and I did. In fact, I went through a very heavy folk phase at one point.
Yeah.
And that was all I did. So yeah, definitely. But I try and avoid that now, because right now that's just not the sound I want to make. If I get up on a stage and play acoustic, I'm annoying myself with the sound that's coming back at me. I don't want to hear that right now. I don't want to play that right now. I just want to make big, loud rock sound. And
you're open to experimentation as well, aren't you? Recording wise, well, that was one thing that came to me when I was listening to your music earlier today. I went through everything, and it's like you've got a lot of a lot of experiment. I can see you take that further in the future.
As in styles, genres, or
just experimenting with different instruments and different styles and different loops and just different things altogether. You're not stuck in a rut.
Absolutely not. But I tell you, I don't really use any loops.
I'd say, okay, not loops. Sort of like electronic.
Just FYI. I mean, there's a lot of people out there. Lots of people these days are producing music in their bedrooms, and they say they're a producer. And a lot of those people might buy their beats online. Someone else has made the beats, and they just add a top line. Some people will find loops and use that as the basis of their track. I haven't done any of those things. Even when I've made electronic stuff, I'm not a drummer, but I'm going to sit there and I'm going to program in one beat at a time.
Yeah, that's cool.
And and build something from scratch without any idea what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah.
And so it's always going to sound unique to me. Just to clear that up.
Yeah, so I've got it. I've made a note. I'll sack the researcher. Sorry, that was me. What about representation? What have you got? Are you got labels looking at, or are you looking at labels, or you want to be completely independent? How do you want to play that one?
I mean, I just want a band right now. I just want to be able to go play the music. That was the plan. That's kind of fallen through. I do, there's that's kind of the main thing for me. I can't think that far ahead because the industry is changing so much all the time at the moment. Yeah. There's no real guarantees of anything at any point. So I just have to focus on making the art and getting it out there, and that's enough. I mean, being an artist these days, you've got your hands full just doing that. There's so much social media, recording, organising, finding band members, writing new songs, being good at what you do. There's hardly any time for that when you're trying to do all this other stuff. So there's a lot, and I could certainly use a team to help with those things, but I can't spend my time looking for a team when I've got to make art. I just have to make art. So yeah.
I think you'll be able to answer this question. I sometimes ask artists who I think might be able to answer it. Okay, so here's a random question. If you could know the absolute and total truth to one question, what question would you ask?
Is it possible to break the structures of society as we have them and make the world a better place?
Oh, I like it. That's a decent answer. One of the best so far. That's a big tick for you there. I like that one. And here's a silly one. What's the most used emoji in your phone?
Oh, that's tough.
What's number one? What's the one at the top?
It's probably just laughing face with tears. It's probably just that.
Just laughing.
Yeah, sadly, just laughter.
I thought it might be. I thought for you,
closely followed by a turd, probably.
Yeah,
but
I thought yours was going to be the face with that little smirk at the side. You know what I mean? They're like not sure kind of thing.
No, because I think people that know me know that most of my texts come with that implied, and so I don't need to use the emoji. But laughter has to be explicitly, stated with the use of an emoji. So yeah.
Same. One last question: what one song sums you up the best of yours?
Wow. Okay. It's going to change on a daily basis, right?
Just for this moment. Just this moment.
In this moment, the snapshot of right now. The snapshot of right now, I'm going to go with Storm.
Yeah. Why?
That's where I'm at right now. That's how I'm feeling right now.
Yeah.
On a different day, it could be a number of other tunes. It could be any of the other tunes, but today it is Storm. That is because I feel sort of, fragile yet wildly just raring to go, and aggressive at the same time. So excellent. It's kind of it's got that going on. Yeah,
I feel it.
Plus, it's got just awesome fuzzy guitars. Yeah. But, yeah.
Well, Dee, thanks so much for joining me. I really appreciate it, and the very best of luck for the future. I can't wait to hear more from you. And when your band's together and you're getting labels and you're doing all the tours, I can't wait.
Thanks, Dan.